What's up everybody, it's Smitty. Welcome to a special Diesel video. This video is sponsored by Strength Camp and Elliot Holst. Elliot sent me this awesome t-shirt and I wanted to wear it, show my support of holststrength.com. Also, the video is especially dedicated to Brett Contreras because a lot of these concepts and a lot of my knowledge around glute activation comes from him. So I've been watching a lot of Brett's videos and he talks about the profile of the gluteals and their muscle actions. So the muscle actions, the lower glutes are responsible for hip extension and hip hyperextension, and the upper glutes are responsible for hip extension, hip hyperextension, external rotation, transverse abduction, and abduction. And I was trying to think, a lot of our glute bridges and our hip thrusts, all those things are done with a neutral hip position. And I was thinking about the muscle action. I said, well, if the glutes are responsible for abduction, external rotation, we need to start activating them in that plane of motion. So I came up with something I think is pretty unique, and again, like I said, is built off of my knowledge of what I learned from Brett Contreras. And what I came up with is, we have at the gym, we have this plate that sits in the corner that we use for our T-bar rows. So we stick the barbell in the corner, sort of like a grappler if you don't have a grappler. And the cool thing about it is the sides are pretty much set up at a 45-degree angle. Okay? So what I thought was, listen, a lot of our activation stuff only hits one of the angles for the glutes, or the muscle actions the glutes are responsible for. Let's do our glute bridges and let's do our hip thrusts in a different plane of motion, because the glutes, like I said, are responsible for external rotation of the hip and abduction. So we're going to externally rotate and we're going to abduct the hip, and then we're going to do our glute bridges and our hip thrusts. This is what it looks like. Now I know a lot of you don't have this setup at your gym, so I came up with an alternative so anyone can do this. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. I'm going to get down on the floor here and we set this up. Now, like I said, the normal glute bridge, we have our legs in neutral position, okay, and we extend up into hip hyperextension. Now, what happens when we externally rotate and abduct the hip? Okay, let me tell you something. You haven't felt activation like this. Okay, we externally rotate the hip and we abduct it. We're at 45-degree angle. And like I said, we can do our hip thrust on here as well. Tell you what, that feels so different. It feels so awesome for the glutes. Now, what I came up with is, you might not have a molded plate, but you could use, in most gyms, they have a calf raise block that they probably made out of wood. If they have two of those, you could butt those up against each other and use that. If you don't, a hex head, look at the size of the hex head. They're almost 45, not quite. But you can put your feet on them and it puts you at the right angle. Man, that feels awesome. Here, let's try the hip thrust. All right, so variation, a different plane of motion, and we're trying to get a more comprehensive strength profile for the glutes. Okay, this is Smitty, and again, special shout out to Brett Contreras from thegluteguy.com or brettcontreras.com, and also thanks Elliot Hulse, strengthcamp.com and elliothulse.com. This is Smitty from Diesel Crew. Please rate and subscribe, and I appreciate you watching the video.